Hello, my beautiful investors. Hope you're all doing really good. So as you can see, I'm just here in virtual Cyprus because someone I know is trying to flex on all of us, thinking that we too can't enjoy nice holidays. You know, I can do it in virtual reality. So anyway, today in the podcast, I'll be discussing my personal journey with money, how I feel about YouTube and my future plans, as well as how to take an idea and turn that into a business, questions that I've asked you guys on Instagram to submit to me, as well as ideas about wealth and how to actually generate that. So if you want to tune into all of that beautiful goodness, make sure you keep on listening. So, and remember, like, comment, and subscribing to me will pay dividends to your future. So, as beautiful as this scenery is, I feel like we need a bit more of a professional setting. So, follow me. Hello again, guys. Let me just do a really interesting wave. Yeah, so, just look at this. I'm really moving up in the world, you know? I may only have 58 subscribers, but clearly it's paying off. So I just want to say thank you guys so much for all the love I've received. So many people have sent me so many nice Instagram messages. And just really thank you guys. But this is just kind of a sneak peek of the future. Because like I said, this is obviously a bit different to how I normally do things. But I do eventually want to get a proper VR rig just so, you know, like I've been told time and time again, it may be harder to show some of my personality through this character, but, you know, if you guys want personality, you're gonna get it. But that's just a sneak peek of the future, so let's just have a look at my future podcast office. You know, just come with me. Just walking around, god damn, man, we've made it. We've made it, you know? But yeah, as you can see, my beautiful podcast office of the future, this is eventually what I want to do. So when I have my full VR rig, I won't be moving around as awkwardly. This will be full body tracked. And you guys will just be able to, you know, interact with me a bit more. But like I said, I know how awkward the still frames are when I interview other people on the podcast. So I'm going to try and be doing this from now. So at least you can see some of my interaction and just have something nice to look at than just one still frame. But yeah, anyway, let's jump into where I'm actually going to do the podcast. So again, follow me. So welcome to the OhKay Podcast number 6, I believe. So here I am joined with my guest, the Invisible Man, clearly. So today I'm doing the podcast by myself. There are 2 more podcasts I have lined up. You know, there will be other guests, but you know, I just thought this will be a nice challenge. This will be really interesting. So like I was saying, what was my personal drive to do more and earn money? And where did that personally begin for me? So this is where I'm going to do a dramatic flashback to my school days. But before I get into that, let's just say it started with my parents actually instilling really good discipline in me. So my parents were always work before play. They made sure one way or another, if in case you don't know, I've got African parents, they made sure that it was definitely drilled into me. You're going to work and then you play. So just from a very young age, I very much had a sense that, okay, you know, you have to work for something and then you get it. You don't just get given something. So I feel like that's a very good foundation that I started off with. And so they wouldn't give me pocket money if they were to give me anything. It's because I worked for it. I did well in my schoolwork, I did well in my SATs or GCSEs or something like that. You know, then they'll give me some kind of reward. But obviously, I wanted to earn more money than what they were giving me, so I found very creative ways to do that, and I'm about to explain that. So let's just follow me into this flashback back to my school days. So as you can see, I'm unfortunately all alone here. You know, it kind of sucks. You know, if any one of my subscribers, if you have a decent computer and you you also download VR chat, it'll be really cool to get some help with these videos, just to make it, you know, a bit more, you know, immersive, so I can actually go into the worlds when I tell these kind of stories. But anyway, so like I was saying, in my school days, I found a very interesting hack. So like I said, my parents would give me food, you know. Well, thank God that they gave me food. But what I mean is I would take packed lunch to school. And this is in secondary school days. So I would get stuff like Chinese, you know, I always had the nicest food. And I was like, I'm not that hungry. And one day, one of my friends, Richard, was just like, hey, Kay, I'll buy that Chinese off you. And I was like, okay, interesting. How much are you gonna buy it off me? And then he was like, oh, you know what? Okay, I'll give you £5. And I was like, 6, make it 6. And it's like, oh, okay, sure, deal. From then on, like, my life changed. I was like, okay, this is amazing. Parents, buy me all the food, not just some, all the food. We would go to Tesco's, we'll go to Aldi's, they'll buy the, like, not the single packet of crisps, the massive multi-pack. I will put that in my little tiny Just Do It bag at the time because that was all the craze. And I was like, guys, you know, Kofi, come over here. You see this packet of crisps that's actually worth like 20p? You're gonna buy it off me for £1, aren't you? And it's like, yeah, man. And like, I would say people knew me based off, like, they wouldn't even need to hear my name. They'll just hear the change jiggling in my blazer. That's how I was. That was the kid I was. It was really interesting, and like, it very much motivated me. It's like, I was young then. I was like earning money. I was like, this is cool, because like I said on the podcast with Chris, you know, it's really nice earning money as a kid, and you're like, okay, all the things you want to buy. At the time, it was like Xbox 360 games, but I was like, my parents didn't buy this for me. I bought it for myself, you know. Like, I'm a strong, independent, young black kid. I don't need no parents to buy me games. I can buy it for myself, and like, it really did bring a lot of pride to me. But I was like, okay, I moved away from that school, went to loads of different places, came back, and around 16, I was like, okay, I want a job. But obviously, as a 16-year-old, it's really hard to get a job. So the only thing that was available back then was paper rounds. And let's just say that's a really sucky job. You have to do so much work for like so little pay. I had to deliver like 300 papers. I'd get paid like £7 for it. It would take me like 2 hours. So then I got into something amazing through my beautiful mother, who is a teacher. She also does tuition. She's like, Kay, you know what? You're a smart kid. Okay, you're in year 10 at the time. You know, just get a year 8 kid and you tutor him and you get £15. And I was like, what? £15? For 1 hour just talking about basic math? Obviously, I was really into the idea. Did it, and like now, like I said, I've been doing that like ever since, and it's an amazing job. So I'm going to go into another world to just kind of discuss that a bit more, because loads of people have asked me about tuition, so I just want to really get into that for you guys. Again, follow me. So at this point, you guys may be like, Kay, where have you taken us to here? And for anyone that has been through a certain experience, you may be getting certain flashbacks. You may be feeling a certain feeling right now, like just feeling groggy. The feeling of embarrassment, you know. And I wonder why, What does this look like? A university hall. Yep, we've all been there, you know, being that kid that walks in late when everyone's here, just staring at you. The university lecturer's over there, grilling you already for walking in late, and you just, you know, you just try to really forget the experience. But anyway, like I said, I want to talk about tuition. So this is something that I've recommended loads of people to do. And like I said, I really do feel like loads of people should get into it, because it's such easy money. It's so time efficient. The amount of money that you earn for tuition is so much more effective than most actual jobs. Like, let's say now, for me, I teach GCSEs and A-levels. GCSEs I charge for around £30. Yeah, £30, and then A-levels, it's like £40 and up. You know, what entry-level graduate job pays that amount? You know, not many. You know, if you guys have gone to university, like I'm sure quite a few of you have, and even if you haven't, but you've got a skill that you can teach, you know, it's really good money just for essentially talking to someone. This is just to kind of emphasize how time efficient tuition can be. So on a normal like graduate job, let's say that you're on 25k, in an hourly salary base, that's about like £12 an hour if you're not taking away tax. If once you take away tax, it works out to be like just under 10, so it's like £9.95 or something like that. So just to emphasize, let's do an average of what I earn for tuition, which is 30, bumps up to around being worth £62,000 salary. You know, that, again, that's not including taxes, so obviously it'll be a bit less. So I just want to break tuition down a bit, because I do think sometimes I do oversimplify it and make it seem really easy, like anyone can get into it, but there are a few key things you need to remember. When you're tutoring, the job is very different from being a teacher. Okay, teacher, you just go there, you say what you can, and you just hope the kids take it in, essentially. When it comes to tuition, you're more of a motivator, if anything. Okay, so you have to realize that these kids sometimes they want the extra help. Sometimes their parents have just forced them into it. But you have to build a relationship with these students, and it's normally the case of they're the ones that are a bit rowdy in class, or maybe they just don't understand the subject, and the teachers, unfortunately, being maybe the kind of teacher that only likes the people that are naturally gifted in the subject and have just naturally neglected the ones that are struggling, which is unfortunate, but it happens a lot. So I would always put tuition like Jenga blocks. Okay, when it comes to anything, you can always put it in the form of Jenga blocks. So when it comes to the school system, every year kind of builds up on itself. Every next topic builds upon itself. So that student, there's a bit in their Jenga tower that is a bit wobbly. They don't really understand that. So your job as a tutor is to identify where the wobbliness is in their Jenga tower, then not just start from that level, go the level below that, and then make sure that, okay, cool, so there's always a level below that they understand. Like, unless the student is absolutely brain dead and knows nothing, there's always a level below that they'll understand. And then really praise them. Be like, good, you understand that. I understand. We've all been in a scenario where we haven't understood something. Don't make them feel bad. Never shame them and never lose your patience. And then build them up and be like, okay, this is the level you do understand. That's great. Now, to get to the level you don't understand, it's just this little extra step. And normally they're like, I never thought about it that way. Okay, I understand now. And obviously it's not always that easy. Sometimes you do have to say it multiple times and try in loads of different methods, and it will just suddenly click. But once it does, then they start to get that confidence. This thing that I didn't understand before, now I understand it. And you know what? That feeling is freaking amazing. It's really, really great knowing that you can do that for someone. To give you guys a spicy nugget of information, when it comes to the business of actually getting students, which again, you guys really should watch the podcast I did with Chris. We talked about so many really good things. The best way to get clients, whatever kind of business you're starting to get into, is through word of mouth, and optimize your family and friends. That's the first vector you want to go through when trying to do these things. You really need to maximize the resources around you. Like I said, my mum got me into tuition. It was like a family friend from church, and then they had brothers and sisters, and then that person will then tell their friends. I've gotten the majority of my students that way. You can also use sites like Tutor Hunt and First Tutors, which I'm probably displaying right now. Those are really good. I just spam people with messages like, do you want tuition? Do you want tuition? Do you want tuition? Give me tuition. Give me your money, please. I need the money. I don't have a job anymore. I need your money, please. I want food. But anyway, you don't need to go down that route if people are recommending you. Again, a secret technique I will tell you guys, because you guys are my fam. You guys are my subscribers. We help each other out. Try and make a deal. So what I've started doing, which I wish I had done so long ago. Again, this is why investing is so important. Look at how companies run. They have coupon codes. They have kind of loyalty schemes that, something that's beneficial for the customer and the business owner. So I was like, if you guys recommend me to someone, so I normally ask the students' parents to pay me a month in advance, because money today is worth a lot more than money later on. So, if I invest that money straight away, it's worth a lot more to me than if they give it to me in increments. That's generally a good business practice. It also keeps them disciplined and makes them less likely to cancel if they've already paid for the lessons. So that's another tip. If you're able to recommend me to another student and they pay for a month in advance, then I will give you a quarter off your next month's installments. So it's a win-win scenario. They get money off, I get more money because I'm getting more students. You just want to think of ways to make yourself more competitive. Add your own secret sauce. That's about it when it comes to tuition. If there's anything else you want to know, I can dedicate an entire video to it. Just let me know down in the comments. But seriously though, goddamn, this really does take me back. My spending habits in uni. Now, this was a beautiful time because, like I said, everyone has to make mistakes. Uni is the time where many mistakes were made. And that's good, It's good if you're the kind of person that learns from their mistakes. And when it comes to finances, first year, oh my god, did I waste so much money. I got the full student loan, full maintenance grant, all that jazz. Unfortunately, I was in a house that was right next to one of the university's gift shops. You waste so much money, just money on just unnecessary stuff. You don't know how to finance. Every time you go out, you just splurge too much money. Quickly, you learn that, oh crap, it's only a couple weeks into the semester and I've it's looking kind of sticky still. Like I don't have any money left. As the years go on in uni, you quickly have to realize how to earn more money or budget. So I learned both. First of all, I was like, okay, this magical tuition thing that I started before I went to uni, wow, a lot of universities are so close to so many schools. This is amazing. Tried to do my own personal tuition. I did that and it was really good. It's unfortunate how the student finance system works, but some people really do need to work. And I can't imagine doing a hard university course and having to dedicate so much time also working because, you just can't pay rent. But with tuition, I literally just spend like a couple hours, 2 hours, and that's enough. So I learned how to budget better. I had excess money, which is what I used to go on holiday. Santander, don't at me. So now that we're in the actual adult world, you shouldn't be spending money like a fresher. With that being said, let's teleport on right back to the podcast studio. You know what? I decided that the podcast room is pretty boring. So, what's up? Welcome to my crib. Yeah, just look at it. Look at it. It's amazing, isn't it? I'm so sorry for this, guys. Like, you can tell I'm having way too much fun. But look at this, man. It's freaking amazing, man. Now, let's go into where I'm actually going to start talking about the next question. So, follow me. This is so cool. So, hi, guys. This is nice. Doesn't this feel nice and intimate? Ignore that. I know I like anime, but I don't like anime that much. But anyway, so just going on to the first question, which was submitted by Pratesh. Thank you so much, Pratesh, for submitting this question. So his question was, how do I personally feel about portfolio rebalancing and how often should it be done? Now, I think that's a brilliant question, and I would say it's completely dependent on your personal goals. So what I mean about that, and I do really want to make a video about this eventually, and the more I've been investing and the more I try to research different news, the more I realize there's different flavors of investing. Everyone doesn't have to invest the same way. Everyone doesn't have to invest the same way, and I really wouldn't encourage don't just take my word for something, because at the end of the day, who am I? I'm not licensed. I'm not a professional. Don't take my professional advice because I'm not a professional. Just like you wouldn't take advice off of anyone. Let me give my own personal example. I am currently invested over 80% in Tesla. Would I recommend loads of people to do that as much as I believe in Tesla? No, because other people aren't me. And I don't mean that in a douchebaggy way, but I mean this you don't have the same thoughts and emotions that I do. You may have completely different feelings. You may have a completely different temperament. Today is actually Tesla's Q3 earnings is when I'm recording this. God knows when this video will actually come out, but Tesla, if they report a bad Q3, which they definitely won't, but let's just say they did, that could scare off loads of people and that would cause them to sell out. Whereas with me, I'll just keep in because I believe in the long-term goal of the company because of my own personal time horizon. So it's hard to give recommendations. I'll just say, just think very carefully about what your goals are. So let's just say what a financial advisor would tell you. You shouldn't have more than, let's say, 10% of your portfolio shouldn't be in any one stock. It should be well diversified across a broad range of investment instruments. Okay, it's fine for you to be 50% in stocks, 30% in bonds, and then just the rest in cash, just so you can maximize on things that are happening in the market. It's down to you. Is that what you want, or do you want to try things your own way because you've done some of your own research, which you personally feel could then return better, And again, no amount of research will dictate that you are definitely going to get those results, but, it just depends on how you are personally. Now, I could dump all my money into robo-advisors or, safe dividend stocks, but that to me is a bit boring. I want to personally understand each company that I invest in and optimize my portfolio in that way. And kind of going back to the question, when it comes to optimization, when I was earning a steady income, I had a lot of dividend paying companies. Once that obviously changed, I thought to myself, okay, so I want to be able to optimize my portfolio's returns for this year as much as possible. And I know that's a short-term mindset and I shouldn't really care that much. But the main reason why I started thinking about that is because of the opportunity cost of one of the companies I owned, which was Tesla. I was like, in a year's time, the cost of Tesla could be drastically different from what it is now. And that wasn't just based off of like, stock has just been going up, so it's going to continue going up. It was off of personal research that I'd done, looking into the company, looking at like the developments, and also noticing how a lot more people were catching on to what the company's doing. Like I said, when it comes to the stock market and stock prices, it's not intrinsic on what the company is doing, it's people's perception of the company. So I was like, people's perception of Tesla is starting to grow. So, and I feel like it's only going to grow more because there's loads of key events happening very soon that it's hard not to pay attention to. So I was like, okay, in a year's time, these dividend paying stocks, are they going to be very different to where they are today? Probably not, because that's just the nature of them. Tesla, on the other hand, could be quite different. So I'm going to sell out of, unfortunately, like loads of these really good dividend paying stocks and allocate more to Tesla, because I feel like the return that I'll get during this year is a lot more than it would be if I'd kept it in those dividend paying stocks. And so far that's working out really well for me. But would I recommend everyone to do that? No, because maybe you're not in the same scenario. So when it comes to reallocating, let's say now one of your companies have done dramatically well. It's now gets to the point where it's like most of your portfolio. You could sell out of that and then transition that into another like more balanced stock. But do you want to do that? Have you researched the company? You know, are they going to go up more? Of course, you can never know that. But if you're invested in something, I really hope you know what you're invested in. You know, I can't say that enough. Like I've started to see a couple new finance channels that will talk about some of the stuff in their portfolios, and they'll openly say that they don't really understand this investment, which to me is a bit jarring. You know, this is your money. Again, your hard-earned money. Well, I hope it's your hard-earned money. I hope you're not doing fraud. But anyway, you should understand where your money's going. Have some understanding of the companies that you're putting your money into. Thank you, Pratesh, for answering that question. Hopefully I answered it in some kind of way. So guess what, guys? I just guess it's time for another scenery change. So here we are. And yeah, guys, I promise it's not that kind of channel yet. Like, I promise. Don't worry. So, the next question by King, Universe Over Everything. Just amazing Instagram name. So, he says, I'm in a position where I have more money than I ever had before, and I'm not too naive to admit I'm financially illiterate. So, what advice would you give to someone who was used to living in debt but is now in a position of excess? So, King, like that is an amazing question. That's really, really good. The first thing I would say, I don't want to give you a cop-out answer, but always striving towards that financial literacy. But the thing is, being financially literate takes time. It's not something that you can just do overnight. So I would say the way that question is phrased kind of worries me, because if you're someone that has a lot of debt, well, was used to being in a lot of debt, and then just suddenly finds yourself in a lot of money, you're just asking yourself for a world of trouble. Like I said before, you guys really, really do need to research lottery winners. Like, these guys win a lot of money, and they are given financial advice when they do it. But look, most of them still end up really, like, you know, just in a bad situation. And it's because they just suddenly got into a situation where they had a lot of money, you know. Money is like another drug, you know. It's another crutch that people fall on. You know, if you don't have discipline, you're just suddenly given a lot of something that can corrupt people, you know, you're not going to suddenly learn how to do it. It's just reminding me of a time in uni where I was sitting with my uni mates who are going to be on the podcast soon. One of them, Cairo, was watching loads of YouTube videos about being financially literate and just understanding these things, and I was like, guys, you guys really need to watch this, from the mindset that we're all about to go into the world of work. You know, it's probably a good idea that we learn these things before we start earning money. But what was his response? His exact response was, I'll worry about money, okay, once I start making it. And till this day, it still pissed me off. Cairo, I still just wake up sometimes and I just hear you saying that. Cairo, man, when you're on the show, we have to talk about that. It baffles me because I feel like he's not alone in that mindset. You don't learn to run before you know how to walk. Okay? You need to prepare. It just makes sense to research things before you go through it. So if you're in a lot of debt, you're in a situation where you're in a lot of debt, clearly your priorities aren't straight. You know, like I said, it's not something where people don't just find themselves in this situation all like overnight, it's normally death by 1,000 cuts, like I was trying to explain. And I just want to visualize it for you guys, because I'm putting extra effort into these now. Like, just imagine you being in a situation where, okay, you could cook, but you're like, nah, you know what? I'm from the UK, but for some reason, I'm really feeling Taco Bell, so I'm not going to cook for myself. I'm going to order out. And also, you guys are walking home one day, you walk past that convenience store, you're like, do you know what? Look, they got some nice Snickers bars. Oh, is that a Lucozade? Oh, I'm going to buy some of that, and that forms into a habit every time you walk past that certain convenience store. Or another super relatable example that I'm sure we can all fall into. It's like, hey, I really miss shopping. I really like going to these stores and buying these clothes, even though we're pretty much on lockdown and who are we trying to impress? But I'm like, I really want to look like a probably 12-year-old waifu for some reason. In all seriousness, like buying one-time clothing items for events that you'll probably not go to again. The idea of buying one clothing item for a one-off event, it just doesn't make any sense. That's one of the things that will start to very much cripple you. Guys, for now, just make do with what you have, unless you literally have holes in your clothes like I do. But actually, quick plug, someone's just released their own merchandise brand, so if you do want clothes, I know that's going completely against the point I'm trying to make, but guys, I don't like the taste of bread. Please help me. You guys may just be spending too much money on Starbucks. Maybe you buy coffee 7 days a week. And guys, like, this really cuts into our budget. You can blame the investment doctor for this, but look, his comments right here. He wanted me to do the voice, but...
皆さん、コーヒーにお金をかける必要はもうありません。お願いします。
I'm so sorry about that, guys. When it comes to coffee, you go from buying coffee 7 days a week, then cut it down to 3 days a week, then once a week, and then just be like Graham Stephan and just make your own iced coffee. The main point that I'm trying to illustrate while doing all of this for you guys, you have to smash the like button. We're just trying to break down these habits. Getting into debt is not a quick thing. It's slow. It's by your lifestyle choices over a long period of time. So cut out the Starbucks, cut out the random spending on food and clothes, just try and stay as focused as you can. But anyway, I'm sure this is making you guys feel a bit uncomfortable. So let's go back to the other spot and I'll continue to lay my thoughts on this brilliant question I was asked. Well, that was a lot more fun than it should have been. Please, my darling viewers, don't read into that too much. Like I was saying, once you start cutting back, you eventually get to the amazing point of now the amount that you spend, the amount that you earn equals the amount that you spend, And I know that may sound still like it's not great, but that is a big milestone. If you're someone that in debt and you've gotten to the point where you're now on the break even, that's a big point, because now, guys, it's amazing. You only need to take one more step and then you're at that point where you don't have any debt, and you're earning more than you spend, which is amazing. At that point, you can start thinking about investing and doing all these other things, and there's two ways to do that. One is either cut down a tiny bit more, or second, try and earn more money. Like I say, like I've brought so many people on the podcast now, and there's like 2 more podcasts lined up, I emphasize so much, do more. There's so many ways to earn more money. We have a lot more spare time than we really realize, and you can use that so effectively to just earn more money, and without having to resort to other things. But guys, if you like this kind of thing, you'll really be interested in next week's podcast. The main concern that I have with this question is just that the person was in debt before they landed in the situation, and you just really need to realize you need to create that mentality of being financially literate before you end up in a lot of money. If you just end up in a lot of money, the first thing I would say is seek a financial advisor. Not that it really helps those lottery winners, but at least you'll get the advice, so you have some idea of what you should do. And that financial advice, like I say, I think a life-changing amount, I would say a life-changing amount is anything above 300,000. And the reason why I say that is, say now, okay, you find yourself in a lot of money above 300,000, get that 300,000, put that into a dividend paying stock or across dividend paying stocks that averages around 5%. Boom, that's 15 grand that you're getting yearly for the rest of your life. That may not sound like much, but you can live. You can live for the rest of your life, and that's not something that a lot of people can say. So, and then obviously if you earn more than that, that amount just increases. But that's just on top of whatever you do. Do you know what I mean? Whereas someone that just finds themselves in 300K, they'll probably just go and buy a house. Now, if you just buy a house, it's not an asset. Your house isn't an asset unless it's generating you money. It's a liability. People may have seen like, 50 Cent. Oh, how did he become bankrupt? How do all these people go bankrupt? It's by spending above your means. Do not give in to lifestyle inflation. Stay in your lane. You're fine, but just make your lane just that much smoother. Make it really nice. You do that by making sure you plan effectively and just invest your money. If you just suddenly find yourself in a lot of money, pay off your debt first. That's number one. Then invest so you have cash increments coming into your life for the rest of your life. Rich people do not spend their actual money on luxuries. Their assets buy them luxuries. I was talking to a follower not too long ago, and I was taking him through some companies that he asked me to. And guys, like I said, at the moment, how many subscribers do I have? I've got like 59 subscribers. Any one of you can reach out to me anytime. Like, hey, I don't really understand this company. Would you mind to just sit down with me and go through that? Like, literally, I was telling this guy, like, any one of you guys can do this. I'll happily go through companies with you, or, like, if you don't understand something, if you want me to, like, have a call with you or whatever, I'm happy to do that while I can, that's the whole point. I'm not making YouTube videos just for the sake of making YouTube videos. I actually do want to teach people. I want people to actually get on investing. So, guys, if you follow me, don't just stare at me, I know my page is pretty and look at my avatar, man, goddamn sexy, but reach out to me, interact. Just going through some of those businesses, and I was just like, you put a certain amount of money into McDonald's, the dividends can pay for the next Big Mac. Let's pretend Disney still paid the dividend. You put a certain amount into Disney's paying for Disney Plus. Get to the point where these companies pay for your lifestyle instead of you paying for their lifestyle. It's really easy. Just start to think about it like that, and it starts to become so much more alluring to start investing. Investing, it really isn't that hard. Just think about the things that you use on a daily basis that's made your life easier. You just continue to roll with that. So to kind of answer your question, King, at the end of the day, you need to become financially literate. Sooner rather than later. If you just find yourself randomly in a lot of money and you're used to being in debt, pay off your debt, then put the rest into investments and pretend like you never even got that money in the first place, which is very hard for people to do. The best advice is to slowly start learning how to be financially literate before you find yourself into a lot of money. And last, but certainly not least, coming up with a business idea and taking that into an actual business. So first of all, you've come up with an amazing business idea. Write it down. That's the first thing. Loads of us come up with so many good ideas, and you just never jot it down. Write it down. Right above me right now, I've got these whiteboards that I stick on my wall. Write down all your ideas. Any idea that comes up, bam, write it down. This is money. This is future money. Don't let it just slip away from you. Write it down, and then start to think about, why are rich people rich? No, it's not because they just inherited it. They create some kind of value. When you create some kind of value, there's always a way to monetize that. So think about, how can you personally create value? Is this idea that you are creating, is it valuable to someone? Okay, like now, one of my businesses is I tutor. I'm creating value for that person because I'm giving them education that they clearly are not getting from school, and I'm personalizing it for them, and I'm also showing them all these resources, and I don't just spoon feed them, I try to teach them how to teach themselves, and then obviously it's about being competitive with all the other tutors that are out there. So think about the value that you are bringing. Okay? Really, really think about it. Don't just think about what you are going to extract from the customer, think about what you give to them. I know I'm saying all of this, but again, you guys, you don't need to reinvent the wheel. You don't need to do anything super special. Just think about the way that people have done this certain thing and then just try and find your own special sauce when it comes to doing that thing. You know, you don't have to do anything really amazing. You just do it your own way. One of these YouTubers did a very good video, The Dividend Experiment. Shout out to him, really cool channel. You know, he made a video not too long ago saying, does the world need more financial YouTubers? You know, does it? What do you guys think? Comment below. My answer and his answer, sorry, spoiler alert, is that he said, yeah, you know, we do. But the problem is there are a bunch of finance channels coming up now that just kind of say anything, you know, because it's so easy, or people just kind of do the same thing. You know, how many people have you seen that do portfolio updates? Go on Instagram, everyone does the same thing, you know, so it's very easy to kind of just be like, well, what difference are you going to make? But you just, you know, try and do something different. Like now, at the moment, I can't see any other finance anime channels, you know, that are also incorporating VR. You know, it's going to happen, trust me. Just try to stay authentic, try to stick to your goals, and then remember, how are you creating value? With my podcast with Chris, which again, you guys should watch. That was we said so many really useful things, but don't forget to utilize your friends and family. You know, it's such a useful resource that many people really forget. Then expand out to other clients. You know, so don't just do a slapdash job with your friends and family just because, you know, my friends and family, or Uncle Joe won't say anything. You know, just like, nah, in fact, go harder with your friends and family. Make sure that the quality is even better, so then they can recommend your stuff to other people. You know, with my company now, like Financial Illiterate Club, please check it out. Like, it means a lot to me, but I'm trying so hard to, you know, like, it looks, in my opinion, I think it looks pretty good, you know, but I think you have to go all out. You have to try and ensure quality. But of course, I have to give a shout out to the one, the only Tesla dollar cost averaging experiment. Like, just look at this specimen of a human being wearing my merch. Like, thank you so much, man. You have no idea how happy this made me. Another thing that other people do, like Queenie has a really cool YouTube channel, also check that out. You know, she has a website where she sells eyelashes. You know, it's cool. Try and make a website. You know, it really expands and makes your thing, makes your certain thing that you're doing seem a lot more legit. There's so many website builders now. Like, guys, it's nowhere near as hard as it used to be. Have the drive to do something. Don't think about, oh, I can't do it. Think about how it can be done, and then utilize the internet, please, especially if you're anywhere between the ages of 15 from the age of like 28. Guys, you should know how to use Google. Type how to do this and there'll be so much. Don't be like, I don't understand, because guys, guess what? We all have superpowers. Do you know what that superpower is? Being connected to the goddamn internet. You know, so use that superpower that you have. You know, use Google. It's your friend. One thing that I would be careful with is, like, now Financial Illiterate Club is an official registered company. You know, I wouldn't say that everyone should do that because it does cost money. I'll say the main reasons why you would do that is, say now you come up with a specific idea. Like, now when it comes to clothing, obviously a big thing about it is how it looks, you know, the design, you know, any logos. So when it comes to that, I don't want anyone to just copy that, you know, so I actually trademarked it. So it's trademarked, so no one can copy it. Well, you can copy it, but, you know, yeah, you're going to owe me some money, you know, but that's one reason why you would register an actual business, so you can file some trademarks and protect any intellectual property. It adds more credibility to your business as well. So if that's an important thing in any kind of industry that you're thinking to get to, that is the thing. But you need to think very careful about your business plan. So before registering a business, you need to be like, okay, is this business actually going to make money? And of course, everyone goes into business thinking like, you know, we're going to make money, but that may not always be the case. You need to think about the expenses that you may have to take on, and how long will it take until you start making profit. You know, you're going to start making profit straight away. These are things you need to really think about, and how to start actually doing specific filing for your company, because that's also something you need to keep and think about. But that's a video for another day. Like, look at this, guys. Like, you're either watching me on YouTube or listen to me on Spotify. You know, YouTube is a brilliant way to build a personal brand. Make yourself a brand. You know, that's what I want to do. That's what I'm trying to do for all the things, and kind of center that all around finance and being financially literate. It's a really good tool that I think everyone should utilize at some point. Don't get it misconstrued. I have no feeling that my YouTube channel is just going to suddenly pop off, or, you know, it's just, I'm going to be earning so much money. YouTube is a grind. It takes a long time. It could take longer than a year for my channel to even get monetized, you know, but, you know, hopefully you guys help me out with that, and, you know, you subscribe and you're actually watching the videos. At the end of the day, because I know I'm going to stay dedicated to this for a long time, I see myself in the future speaking to a lot of people like, how do you get started? Don't get started in 10 years time when, I'm already making. It's kind of the same thing I said with my portfolio. I really wanted people to start with me straight away. People are only jumping on it because they see my portfolio values a certain amount and they're like, oh, how could I also do that? But you guys could have started with me and we could have potentially had very similar results. But YouTube, guys, any kind of interest that you have, just start talking about it. Start to kind of create some kind of community. Because with YouTube, I think there's enough people out there that all it is, be consistent and your eventual audience will eventually find you. Your videos may be crappy at first, but the more you do something, the more I think it's natural that you improve over time, especially if you're a kind of person that takes in criticism and uses that to evolve over time, and take that same kind of ideas and attitudes with your business plan. Any kind of criticism that you get, it's good. So guys, comment if you think this video sucks, tell me, but also tell me what you think I can improve on, because that also helps. The same with my brand. If there's any designs that you like, some designs maybe you don't like, what would you like to see? Let me know. But yes, guys, you know what? This has been really nice. This has been amazing. I really like this. I'll probably do this again in the future. Please let me know if you liked these one-on-one podcasts. Just me and you, the audience. It's really nice. So in this video, make sure you comment any questions that you would like me to answer for the next podcast that I do by myself. But don't worry, next 2 podcasts that are coming out, they definitely have guests because they've already been recorded. And like I said, please remember, subscribing to me will pay dividends to your future. And you know what, guys, just have a good one. See you guys later. I'll make my avatar do a really weird wave. Bye, guys. Bye.